Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, I'd like to discuss who your children are in this life and in past lives. Once you gain this understanding, you can see their true nature. From the perspective of Buddhism, we do not say that parents create this life. We believe that parents and children come together due to fate and there is no necessary affiliation. However, most people think that since this child was born to me, they are mine, and they are the closest people to me. But they do not understand the true facts. Where was the child before being born? What were they before being born? I believe many of you are familiar with the idea of reincarnation. Although we do not know if it is true or false, such legends have existed from ancient times. Buddhism has provided us with an answer to this. Children coming to your home is not accidental. The reason why someone else can become your child, regardless of whether you are their parent or not, is due to fate. Why did your child choose to be born into your family? Why not choose to be born into someone else's family? If you have no fate with your child, even if you meet face to face, you will not recognize each other. For example, children may be abducted in childhood and never see their parents again. There are countless examples like this in life. Regarding the idea of reincarnation, Buddhism has told us about 4 kinds of fate. Different fate will result in different situations between parents and children. Below, I will introduce these 4 kinds of fate in detail. If you are already a mother or father, you should pay attention to this. Why your children recognize you as their parents is based on what kind of fate, whether it is a virtuous or karmic fate. First type of fate. Repaying kindness. In your past life, you have shown kindness to your children, and you have a strong affinity with them. In this life, your children were born to repay your kindness. These children are usually easy to raise, smart and lovely, obedient and filial, and will take good care of you in your later years. This is why we advocate that everyone should cultivate good relationships with others. The more kindness you show to others, the more you will receive in return. Second type of fate, complaining. In your past life, you and your current children were bitter enemies who never got along. Your children were born to you in this life to complain or even seek revenge. You may not believe it, but some children are born to seek revenge. If your children have been disobedient since childhood and cause trouble everywhere they go, making your home unpleasant and causing financial difficulties, these children are born to complain. You may think that it is a result of poor upbringing, but there are now many disobedient children. Are they all here to seek revenge? So, you need to ask yourself in your daily life, do you show kindness to others, or do you always try to take advantage of others? Many people are focused on how to take advantage of others. If you are too obsessed with money, the same principle applies. Third type of karma, debt collection. In your past life, you owed a debt to your child that wasn't repaid. In this life, your child has come to collect that debt, and the more you owe, the more they will demand. Typically, if the debt is small, the child will leave you at a young age, around 3 to 4 years old, due to accidents, illness, etc. If the debt is larger, the child may leave you around the age of 11 or 12, or even after graduating from college, leaving you in deep sorrow. Fourth type of karma, debt repayment. Just as there is debt collection, there is also debt repayment. This type of karma is somewhat similar to repaying a favor, but the difference between the two is quite obvious. If your child owes you a large debt, they will provide you with a comfortable life in your old age, bringing you peace and security. If the debt is small, however, they may only give you a meager allowance each month, or even require you to support them instead. There is also a story about a child's past life. When born in Zhouweng, Hubei province, there was a clear tooth mark on the left buttock. The mother said that Zhouweng was born in her second past life, and the tooth mark is evidence of her asking about her son in her past life. This story naturally attracted the interest of many people. In the 1970s, when Zhouweng was already in his 70s, whenever the village rested during collective labor, men, women, old and young, would always gather around him and jokingly pull down his pants to see the strange teeth marks. This story of the debt from the past life caused by the teeth marks had to be told from the beginning. Zhou Weng's parents had been married for more than 10 years and had given birth to 4 boys, all of whom died of illness before the age of 6 months. Zhou Weng was their 5th child, and he was sickly and weak from the time he was a month old. In order to treat their son, the Zhou family spent all their savings in just a few years. Zhou Weng's parents were worried all day long, and one day a fortune teller came to their yard. They asked the fortune teller to predict their son's future, and the fortune teller said that unless they used the 10,000-year nail from a cassava powder coffin to make a lock and hang it around their son's neck until he turned 18, he might not be able to avoid the coming calamity. After hearing this, Zhou Weng's parents did everything they could to make a small lock with the 10,000-year nail and put it around their son's neck. They never took it off day or night, but despite their efforts, Zhou Weng still suffered from illnesses and ailments. The whole family cried every day, living in fear and uncertainty. When Zhou Weng was 16 years old, he fell seriously ill again, and his parents cried in front of the window. Suddenly, with an unusual tone, the child said to them, "Dear parents, I want to tell you the truth now. I became your son in this life to settle the debt of 4 cows owed to me by you two in our previous lives. The debt was supposed to have been repaid when I was 11 years old, but I was locked up and unable to escape. I hope you will take off the lock and let me go. If you don't, I won't be able to repay you even in death, and you will be ruined. When I am reborn in the neighboring Hu family, I will collect the 35 pounds of linen money owed to me by them and then come back to be your son. I will repay the 5 years of debt I owe you and the 16 years of nurturing. At that time, I will never leave again." The parents were heartbroken after hearing this and asked how they could know if it was true. The child groaned and said, "If you don't believe me, you can ask Mother to bite a tooth mark on my left buttock. I brought it with me from my previous life as proof." At this point, there was no turning back, and the mother, in tears, bit a tooth mark on the child's left buttock. Afterwards, she took off the copper lock, and the child died immediately. 2 months later, in the midst of their grief, the parents were filled with doubt and didn't know whether their son's words were true or false. So the mother disguised herself as a silk thread seller and went to inquire at the home of Hu in Hu village. Along the way, she asked about the matter of 35 pounds of thread money, and the unintentional answer was that in the 18th year of the Republic of China, a cotton felter came to their house to fluff cotton. At that time, because there was no money in the family, they owed him 35 pounds of cotton yarn money and had never paid it back. Later, the felter died, and no one came to collect it. The mother secretly kept this in mind. Sure enough, half a year later, news came of the death of the Hu family's baby girl. The mother of the Zhou family became pregnant again and gave birth to a baby boy. When the midwife helped clean and carry him to bed during the 3rd watch, the mother peeled back the baby's buttocks and saw a row of deep teeth marks on the left buttock. Zhou Weng had a life without disasters or diseases. He sent his parents off to old age and lived to be 81 years old without any illness. The first life of Zhou Weng was born into the Zhou family because of a debt dispute, but he came in the second life to repay a favor. Therefore, the connection between parents and children is all due to fate. The Buddha said that all things are born of fate, and the encounter between people is not a coincidence. Only by gathering the cause and effect can we have the present encounter. In this short life, how many previous life karma connections are there? We are fortunate to be our children in this life, so we must cherish and take good care of them, whether our past connections were of gratitude or debt. Thank you for watching. I hope you are happy and successful. Today's sharing is coming to an end. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment with your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please remember to do so. See you next time.